Hello and welcome to Conspiracy in Real Time, the greatest show on earth. I am your THC medicated and 100% unregulated host, Joshua Stonecutter. I am the number one cabal buster. All right, don't forget it. I'm the number one cabal buster, and I hate to be a cabal buster. I don't want to be a cabal buster. I didn't sign up for this. You know what I mean? All right, this is our topic today. It makes me sad, this whole thing, and I cry every day because over this stuff. The silence and the quiet that I'm witnessing in certain parts of the country and in certain cities is disturbing, to say the least. It's like, it reminds me of the nothing from the never-ending story. I'm wondering where all the laughter is gone, or if the laughter that I witnessed and experienced growing up in some years ago, I'm wondering if it was as fabricated as a lot of the good times that I'm seeing now are. Because my laughter and my genuine jovialness, some 10, 15 years ago was 100% genuine. And I feel like a lot of the people that I knew and was friends with, the experiences that we had, I felt like those were genuine experiences. And it's very difficult for me to understand all this because it's being tainted by these people who were my friends and these people who are my family, seemingly turning the whole script on me. Why do they rob us of everything? And when I say us, I mean that this is happening. My story is your story. You guys might think that I'm off living in this like really exciting, because I'll be the first to say, like, the last 2 years of my life have been like straight out of a spy novel. Like, it's been like a James Bond movie with everything except for the guns and the explosions. And like the violence. Why is everything so serious right now? I can't get I cannot speak to the manager of a business or the owner of a business or a law enforcement officer or somebody with a 3-letter agency or a firefighter or a school teacher who won't just start lying to me and gaslighting me within the first 5 minutes of meeting me. It's crazy. My own neighbors they know who I am. Like, the other day I gave my neighbor some cigars that I got that were like hand rolled by like a Cuban person. I bought them like for him for Christmas because I noticed he's always in his yard smoking cigars, right? I give him these cigars for Christmas, and he says thank you, and then he asked me if I found a place to live yet, insinuating that I was to be moving or needed to move or was trying to move or something. Just total gaslighting. And this is my neighbor, you know what I mean? Why would my neighbor not want me here? Well, let me tell you, it's because he's drilling a tunnel underneath his house. That's why. That's why he wouldn't want me here. Where's my evidence? Oh, it's all over the place. It's not normal for people to be like lugging dirt out of their house at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm sorry. Something's very wrong with that picture. Now, I'm not doxing my neighbor, but the way I do stuff is I talk about it first on the internet, put it out here, and then I'll go and speak to the person about it. Do you see what I'm saying? It's like, oh, no. It's already on YouTube. It's already on Rumble. It's already on BitChute. Don't F with me, because that'll be like one of the first places they look, bro. Do you see what I'm saying? But now I understand why they would want me to leave. Oh, they're scared that I'm going to figure out all this stuff that I've already figured out. If any one of these people knocked on my door and asked me for a cup of water, I would give it to them. But it's getting to the point where there's members of my family, and I'm going to be asking them, some of them, the very real question soon. If I knocked on your door and was thirsty and wanted a bottled water that hadn't been opened and tampered with, would you give me one? And if they say yes, then it's, well, if I was hungry, would you feed me? And as I progress and go on, the answer is eventually going to be no. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, okay, the next one, if we were, if my car broke down, and I'm just making this up as I go along. Right now, I'm making this up. I don't have a script for my show. I have notes, but, like if my car was broken down in your front yard and I needed to change the tire and I had a broken arm, would you help me change the tire on my car? Yes or no? Do you see what I'm saying? Because I'm finding that with my friends and my family, there is a point that comes very, very soon and very quick where they will not help me at all. In fact, if they know that it's at all to help me along, like figuring any of this stuff out, they will not do so much as loan me a paper clip, which actually happened to me. My own sister, I was trying to pop the SIM card out of my cell phone. This was like about a year and a few months ago in Gainesville. And I was like going through the cell phone being hacked thing, which, just to be clear, I'm live on Twitch right now and I tape my show on an iPhone and then I upload the video. My iPhone and my Android, both of my phones are hacked. I'm 100% sure. I'm 100% sure because I've taken the time to call Apple and talk to them about this stuff. Did you know there's entire departments there's entire departments at Apple that consists of like people who are, they work for Apple and then they moonlight for like the DHS as well, right? So that's the person that I get connected to if I call Apple or if I call Straight Talk or if I call Metro. I get connected to the SS DHS employee. Do you see what I'm saying? The last two I ordered these little Vivitar. They're like little GoPros that you put a little memory card in. It's like a little knockoff GoPro that Vivitar makes. You guys, I ordered 2 of these off Amazon. I ordered one and it came and it didn't work. So I ordered another one and it came and it doesn't work either. And then this is like a couple months ago and I forgot to return them. So now I just have these 2 broken cameras, like cost me like $100, These things just happen every day, every other day it's something else, If I take my car to a mechanic, but what happens from what I can tell is they both fix the problem that I have and then they also create another one or exasperate an existing issue to make it to where I have to come back soon. And that's just how they do all of us. Do you see what I'm saying? And like, it's just insanity. I try to help everybody that I can, unless the person who's asking me for help like doesn't really need it or whatever. Do you see what I'm saying? It's like, if I have a friend that is a crackhead or an opiate addict, yes, I am going to loan them money for sure. But no, I'm not going to keep loaning them money. And I'm especially not going to loan them money when they lie to me about the reason that they need money. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, just be straight up with me. Just be like, hey, don't even give me the bull crap. Just say, hey, can I borrow $100? And I will either say yes or no. I don't need to know your freaking reason because 99.9% of the time, your quote unquote reason is complete horse crap. And I can hear it when you're talking. And look, I wish that there's many times that I wish that I wasn't this way, that I wish I wasn't the person that I am, that I wasn't like hypersensitive or whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? Some people call it sixth sense or something. But it's like, if I don't feel it in the energy, and if it's not enough to feel in the energy, if it's not enough to hear it in the actual words when you dissect the words that they're saying, then it's plenty enough to hear it. I hear it just in their tone of voice. You know what I'm saying? There were some people in Ocala, Florida that like, I confided in my friend Amanda that I wanted to like stick pencils in my ears when these people start talking because it sounded like every single word, every single word out of their mouth was just complete horse crap. And what she used to say was like, yeah, it sounds, because I was talking to her about their tone. I couldn't get over their tone. I was like, and there was this one guy with the last name of Beard, right? Who I can't stand. And if I was more violent, oh my goodness, I would love to just do something violent. You know, I can't get into it, but I'm not going to. But he definitely deserves it. You know what I'm saying? This is a person that had a chance to save me from a year or two of anguish. And I came to him for help, and he didn't tell me anything. This guy's a real sack of crap. Anyways, every time he would share in an AA meeting, I was just like, everything that he said was like very, very good and very articulate, and it was very good information. If you were to write it all down and transcribe what he said and read it to somebody, it was all very good stuff. Everything that he said, virtually. I mean, like 98, 99% of the stuff that Mr. Beard in Ocala, Florida said, like, categorically was like on point. But there was just one problem that I had with everything that he said. It sounded like he didn't believe a freaking word of it. It sounded like he didn't believe a word of it, or that he was just absolutely full of crap. I think the first one's probably true, or both, you know. Knowing what I know about these people now, like, oh man, like, it's like, I don't even know, you know, I don't know, because I grew up in Gainesville, and Gainesville was like, the church I went to and the people that I knew were like the people at the universities and the doctors. They were the watchdogs, in a sense. Or that's kind of like what I grew up believing anyways. Do you see what I'm saying? That was the picture that was painted for me. Was that if there was something nefarious going on, they would be the ones to know about it. They would be the ones to figure it out. And they would be the ones to certainly get to the bottom of it. The people that I grew up with, because, you know, the people that helped raise me. And to be clear, it was the church that raised me. It wasn't Bob and Nora. It was the whole lot of them, you know. This is tied in with the home that I grew up in, the construction of my home. This is tied in with my youth, you guys. People used to always say, like, you are really good at communicating, because I was like 5 or 6 years old, and I've always been able to hold down conversations with adults ever since I was a little kid. And now I know why. It's because I didn't have any actual friends growing up. I had kids who were my age that my parents, you know, set up for me to hang out with. And then as I got older and started making quote unquote my own choices, it's very interesting, because the friends that the next best friend that I had, the person that suggested I reach out to him, and his last name is Smith. He grew up on the other side of Millhopper Road from me, right? The person that suggested I get in touch with him and reach out to him was a girl who I had never actually met in person. I only knew her from on the internet. And this is before, like, internet, or before I was using like the World Wide Web, which in hindsight, this is another thing. My father and my uncle and my whole family, my mother who homeschooled me, kept the World Wide Web from me. I don't really know how else to put it. Like, for growing up with a father who was a computer programmer, like, I learned about the World Wide Web on my own. My only knowledge of stuff growing up was like modems, because we had modems, and there was like direct dial message boards. They were called virtual bulletin board systems, and you would call them with your modem, and you would connect to a mainframe in somebody's house or whatever. And there was one in my area. But like, look, I don't know what the real deal was. That was just my experience. That was just what I was exposed to. And the reason that I even got turned on to these local virtual bulletin board systems, where I met these people who, a lot of them I met in person, or so I thought, you know what I'm saying? Like, hindsight's 2020. I've been getting messed with by people from using computers ever since the beginning, ever since I started my first account on, I think it was called Dragon's Keep in Gainesville, Florida, back in like 1993 or something like that. But the interesting thing is that when I was doing all that, the internet was around, but there was nobody in my house. I was like, let it show you what the internet is, because what a valuable tool that would have been for me. But oh, no, that was categorically kept and hidden from me. And I'm realizing that now as an adult, you know, because I think I believe that my youth and my family homeschooled me to compartmentalize and curb my intelligence, because they saw how smart I was when I was a little kid, and they probably tested me. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, they probably did stuff like, I don't even know, but they probably, like, I'm thinking about like things like, you know, like where they test children for their intelligence, and the child has no idea what's going on. They think they're just playing a game, or they're just going about their day or whatever, but really they're testing your empathy, or they're testing, you know, how much you can be annoyed before you speak up, or whatever, you know. These sorts of things were going on all the time with me growing up. But anyways, as a result of all of this stuff, I have horrible anxiety, you know what I mean? And these thoughts, the thoughts about my family being involved with this kind of stuff, they haven't been able to stop. And the reason they haven't been able to stop is because when I went to talk to my family about them, they just dismissed me and blew me off. And then they actually started saying that I was having mental problems. Now, this is the real interesting thing. I can call up 3 or 4 family members right now and ask them, what is a blank blank proximity sensor? And all I have to do is just say 2 letters and 2 numbers. And, oh, they freak out and hang up the phone on me. But I disapprove. But look, I'm the one with the mental problems. You can ask me about any 2 numbers or letters, and I'm going to try to answer you to the best of my ability. I'm not going to say, oh, I mean, that was the response I got. I said, well, okay, Uncle. It's my Uncle Tom, right? And it's kind of funny, right? Uncle Tom. But anyways, Uncle Thomas. I will say that. It sounds better than saying Uncle Tom, right? But like, so my Uncle Thomas is like, I'm like, well, Uncle Thomas, what is one of these blank blank proximity sensors? Well, I gotta go. I mean, that's how it went down. And that's how it went down with the elder from my church. I was like, Mr. Fox, Focks, how many, if you had to guess, and this is the word for word question, this video got 1 million views on TikTok before they deleted my channel. I said, Mr. Fox, if you had to guess, how many like straight up Luciferians do you think there are at Creekside, hiding in Creekside? I gotta go. It's just like overload, because they have had the spotlight on me the whole time, and they have had me on the ropes my entire life. My entire life has been spent on the ropes, and I'm not gonna lie. I think I'm still on the ropes. I think I am still on the ropes, right? But I'm able to at least, because I've been my whole life, and this is how they have you too. They have our hands tied behind our backs. They have us up against the ropes, and they're taking swings on us, and they're punching. You know what I mean? That's a metaphor, right? Obviously. So like when I call an elder or a pastor, or when I start calling these real estate agents, which I keep driving by the signs, and by the way, I don't want to but I'll show you their face, okay? I'm holding a real estate person's pen right now. Do you see what I'm saying? They put their names out there. Like, I can't wait to start calling these people, and because that's the response. Because I don't think they ever expected anybody to figure this stuff out. I really don't. They seem to be kind of banking on that, as a matter of fact, from what I can tell. Like, they're real comfortable, thinking that they got this. Like, nobody's gonna know. You know what I mean? Yeah. And if somebody finds out, well, we'll just murder them, right? Okay, whatever. I mean, look, I don't want to die. For the record, I don't want to die. I don't want to be murdered. But if I were to be murdered, you know what I mean? Look what's going on. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm having a hard time just going about myself, enjoying my day, knowing that all this crap is going on. You know, yesterday I was able to take my paddleboard out into the ocean because the ocean is so calm right now. It's unbelievable. I took it out to about a mile, man, and that was like amazing for me to do. You know, so awesome. You know, but like, you know, I'm thinking about this stuff all the time. I can't stop, and that's kind of like the last, you know, part of the notes that I have here is that these thoughts I can't get them to stop because I'm trying to get closure. And quite frankly, it reached a point where I was like, okay, everybody's saying that like this is some kind of psychological problem I'm having. Fine. Then answer these 4 or 5 questions, because you can take the pastor of my church, the person that I call my father, the person I call my mother, whose name is Nora Joyce. Weird, right? What a coincidence. And it doesn't matter which person, right? Like any of my cousins, you know, my grandfather, my Uncle Thomas, the Gibbies, you know what I'm saying? My uncle, his last name is Gibby, and he was an anesthesiologist at Shands, you know? And he's always had me up on the ropes, always had me, you know, oh, well, they're always telling me something that I don't know. Do you see what I'm saying? It's like, you know, hey, look at this Mustang I got. Oh, that's nice, you know, there's got transmission problems or whatever. You know, maybe you can get an all-wheel drive vehicle like mine. Or it's my family does stuff like that, but it's like way more backdoor. Do you see what I'm saying? It's not direct at all. And like, so like, and then there's just a straight sabotage. Like my uncle, the anesthesiologist, Mr. Gibby, pretending to help me fix my car. It was like the radiator or the fan or something. And he rigged my car up so the whole electrical harness melted and broke down. It cost me like $1,300 and stuff. I was broken down for like 2 or 3 months. It was horrible. They're always trying to like handicap me and like seriously mess with me. The fact that I'm still sitting here alive and like not like just the fact that I'm still sitting here alive is a miracle. The fact that I'm sitting here alive is a miracle. And the fact that I figured this stuff out is, quite frankly, I think another miracle, you know? Never mind the fact that somebody has put this stuff up on the internet, you know what I mean? Like, to make it look like my family's involved with this stuff. Who is that person? That's got Gibby written all over it, man. Who do you think, who would want to, you know, ruin our name like that? Who would want to drag our name through the mud like that? It's like, I think it's Gibby, you know what I mean? He's the one that like married into the family and stuff, and then like that's when stuff started going bad for me, anyways, as far as I can tell. With hindsight's 2020. You know, just look this guy up. Look, he's got nonprofits started where he's using the triangle, the boy LOVER symbol. He's got like cut in half or part of it, and he's used it as a symbol for one of his nonprofits. Mr. Gibby, Mr. Anesthesiologist at the University of Florida. What are you doing starting up a nonprofit back in like 1974? Anyways. With that symbol way back then? Come on, dude. Something isn't right. So like, but wait a second. I'm the one with the mental problems. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, oh, okay, fine. Let's get some psychiatrists together and a counselor, and I'll sit down with them and I'll explain to them. The issue is I can't find a psychiatrist or a counselor that will actually listen to me and take this to the next logical legal conclusion with me. The only things that the psychiatrists and counselors that I come in contact are interested in doing is getting me on meds and having me labeled as unstable or like a paranoid schizophrenic. I think paranoid schizophrenic is code for we are effing this person's life up. So like, if, like, let's say I was in the SS, and I'll try to end with this, all right? Let's say I was in the SS, okay? And, like, I'm out walking around, and I'm talking to my neighbor, and he's talking about another neighbor, and he said, oh, well, yeah, he's a paranoid schizophrenic. Okay, all that means is code to me, because I'm in the SS, oh, now I know I need to F with that person big time, because he's on our shit list. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, that's... Like, they told me that this was a game. They told me that this was a game. They told me this was a game and that I wouldn't be able to figure it out. I mean, straight up. That's what they said. They said this was a game, and it was a game that was impossible to figure out or get to the bottom of. And this is the thing, like, I may not have gotten to the bottom of it, but I've definitely, like, I believe, discovered the source of the issues, where it's all coming from or where it started. And I don't think it's right for me to be punished for the sins of my father, or for me to be punished for the sins of my grandfather. It just doesn't feel right. It doesn't seem right. I should be allowed to, like, have my own life and live my own life. Even if my family is involved in all this stuff, which, look, I don't know if they are or if they're not. I have no idea. I'm not in a position to be able to tell anybody. But they are, and you would think that they would rather their nephew or grandson or son, you think that they would, like, take the 5 or 10 minutes out of their lives to, you know, answer some of these reasonable questions that I have. You would think. But I asked a relative on the phone on Christmas Eve. I said, was King Solomon a real person? Because a lot of this stuff has to do with King Solomon's temple and the holiest of holies, which you already know if you're watching my show. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go back an episode or two, right? But, like, I asked this relative who I love to death, you guys. And I asked him, I said, was King Solomon a real person? And he said yes. And I said, do you think King Solomon was afraid of God? And he said, well, I don't know. Whew. Oh, man. That makes me nervous. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, these people are banking really, really hard on the fact that, like, either God isn't real or that God isn't going to mess with them in a negative way. And maybe they're not. Maybe he's not. Look, it's not my... I don't know. But all I'm saying is I wouldn't be willing to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's... I don't know. There was a time about 7 or 8 months ago where I said, F it. I'm going to go try to join the SS because I had enough of being harassed and everything. And as soon as I said that, because I texted my dad, because I knew who I needed to go talk to and everything. You know what I mean? And as soon as I messaged my dad what I was doing, and as soon as I got in my car, I was like, oh, this is a freaking huge mistake. I can tell that right now. Even if I do go through with it, they're just going to gaslight me and mess with me even more in the organization and just keep me in the dark about everything. You know? I discovered and figured out way more stuff on my own. Way more. All right. Let's go over the tracks. We got some good ones. We're still on Platypus Christmas. I know the producers of this track. This is Boyd Westerman, a person that I was friends with and DJ'd with quite a many times. I really love Boyd Westerman. He's a good guy. POB plus Boyd, Luna. Let's see. And the other side is POB. So we got original mix and the Rogue mix or Rouge mix. But that's Boyd Westerman and POB. Really good producers right there. And Boyd, Boyd was the person that really helped me start DJing at like Simon's or Plasma Lounge and stuff. All right. Ooh, cool name. We got, good. All right, here we go. This is a really good track. We got Chromium. And then this side we have Chrome, the original mix. And then we have a Terra Firma remix. And I think that I've mentioned Terra Firma on this show before. Anytime you see a Terra Firma remix, you know it's going to be good. That's a name that you want to see. You know what I mean? For sure. So, I don't remember what these tracks sound like, but I'm sure they're hot fire. I got through this episode with no water. I don't have any water. But anyways, you guys, I'm going to try to make it like 30 minutes today. I don't know if that's the problem with BitChute. For some reason, I haven't been able to upload to BitChute except for short videos. So I'm going to cut this one right at 30 minutes. You can turn me on to any little topic on this and I can just talk for hours about it. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, and I'm trying to communicate to some people in my family that, like, it really would be in everybody's best interests if I took a sabbatical from this stuff. And I'm asking them to help me do that. I don't think they're going to. You know what I mean? Like, I don't it's interesting though, because if I'm right about everything, and it looks like I am, I haven't been wrong about anything yet, which is that's why that's what I cry over every day, guys. I cry every day because I am right. But anyways, if I am right, which I believe I am, what I'm asking them for is basically for one of them to like walk over to a coin jar. No, not even. All they would have to do is pick up a telephone. I'm asking them to pick up a telephone and make a phone call for me, basically, and help me get into like a house or one of these, preferably one of these traveling, like live-in camper vans, like a nice new one with an AC on top and stuff. That's what I would like. So then I can stay and sleep wherever I like. Do you see what I'm saying? To where like, you get it. So I could get like a mailing address somewhere, maybe keep where I am now as a mailing address and just, give the landlord here, 30, 40 bucks a month for to let me park here sometime. I don't know. I mean, but like the point is, I want them to do something to show me that they love me and to show me that, and to help me like take some time off so I can decide what exactly it is I need to be doing and should be doing about all this, if anything. Do you see? Because everything that I am thinking about doing are things that I don't think that they would like very much at all. None of them are violent. None of them involve any kind of, any incendiary devices, but many incendiary comments, right? Do you see what I'm saying? And if anybody from my family is watching, I will just say this, that I want to have my own happy tales, because my tale has not been very happy. In fact, my tale or my story has been brutalized. I even had to have surgery on my tail. So I want to have my own happy tales. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I want to like be able to have money to like buy a little RC30 race car, remote controlled race car or something like that. I would like an RC30 remote control race car to like drive around my backyard if I wanted to. You know what I'm saying? Because this is the interesting thing. Robert saw that I was in need of help and he pretended to help me. But what he did was he bought me a car that he booby trapped and rigged to break down on me. So like, and then I discovered everything about the construction of our house. Yeah, should probably just stop. And this is why I'm coming to my family. Like, yo, I should probably stop, right? Because like, right? Do you guys want to help me? Would you guys like to help me go on a sabbatical? Can you see why that might be beneficial for everybody? Come on now. Anyways, all right, I'm going to go ahead and end with that, you guys. I love y'all. Thank you to my subscribers. I'm sorry that I'm jumping around on channels and everything like that. It's hard to even see where my videos are right now. Okay. But you can find me on YouTube, Conspiracy in Real Time. Also Joshua Stonecutter. And you can find me on Rumble, Conspiracy in Real Time, all one word. And you can find me on BitChute, Conspiracy in Real Time, all one word. Also, I think it's Joshua Stonecutter on BitChute, but you'll find me. All right, y'all. Peace.